Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to explain all the T-side rows in CS2. I'm going to only explain T-side rows here, and in another video I'm going to explain the city side rows, because there are rows on city side as well which are completely different from the ones on T-side. Something I want to say in the beginning before starting with the rows themselves is that rows in CS2 are very personality based, and that's not something that I'm making up. This is something that professional players like Stiku and Telish have talked about previously, and you can also look at what they say about that. What that means is basically, if you are somebody who is more shy, who doesn't like to talk a lot, and who is not that confident, then probably you're not going to be a very good IGL, let's say, because as an IGL you need to be confident in what you say, you need to be very talkative, you need to know how to tell people no, and different things like this. You have to be able to talk to people and all the time give ideas and kind of give instructions to others. So if you're a shy person, being an IGL is not going to be a thing for you, most likely. So now let's actually start with the rows, and first let's talk about the IGL, because I think it's the most complicated row, so let's go over that first, and then we'll do the others. So the IGL, meaning in-game leader, as you probably know, is going to be the player that is going to be responsible for the strategical side of the game. So he's going to be making the strategy for the game, he's going to be making the tactics, so like the executes and things like this, the set rounds, and he needs to first of all know how to talk to people, because he's going to be talking to everyone outside of the game as well, to make sure that everything is okay, to talk about the roles, talk about what the players can do better and things like this. So you need to be an outgoing person, you need to know how to talk to people, but also you need to have a lot of in-game knowledge and experience. You need to know pretty much what every role requires, how to put players in positions that they like, how to switch things around, like if something is not working, what to switch, what to try to make different, what to change. And you need to also be very hardworking, because you need to put in a lot of hours. You need to make strats outside of the practice time, then you need to teach people the strats, then you need to play the games, call and everything, and then after that you need to review the games. Sometimes you'll be reviewing them with the team, but sometimes you'll also be doing it alone. So you need to put in a lot of hours in order to help your team from that strategical side, because that's what you're most responsible for. And that's why a lot of IGLs will kind of be less individually skilled than other players, not only because they usually put in worse roles and positions on the map, but also because they spend most of their time thinking about the strategical side of the game and the team. Next, let's talk about the Entry Fragger. So you probably know what an Entry Fragger is. He's going to be the one who is going to be the most aggressive in the team. He's going to be the one who's going for openings, and something to be aware of is that yes, you'll be going for openings, but sometimes you'll be dying, and if you are a player who doesn't like to die, this row is probably not for you, because you'll be going in first a lot, and sometimes you have no idea where the enemy is, and you'll die from some direction, and then you have to just spectate your teammates for the rest of the round. So in order to be a good Entry Fragger, you need to first be very confident in yourself. You have to be a very confident person, and you have to also have a really good aim. You have to be very sharp, you have to be fast, and you have to be accurate. You need to have good pre-aim, but pre-aim cannot be the only thing you rely on as an Entry Fragger, because sometimes you have perfect pre-aim, you pick an angle, and then the enemy will be a little bit to the side, and then you need to adjust. So you need to have good aim all around, not only good aim, good pre-aim or good crosshair placement. You need overall good aim. You have to also take a lot of initiative as an Entry Fragger, because when the IGL makes a call, everyone is going to wait for you. So if you are not sure, if you want to wait a little bit, but the IGL has called to go in, then you have to take initiative. When he says go in, you have to take initiative. You have to go and actually run in. And something that can be very useful is to focus on one angle at a time. So when you are entering here, if there is a heaven smoke, model side, whatever, then you pick this angle specifically, and then you clear this angle specifically. There are a million other angles, but you'll be more successful if you focus on only one angle at a time, because otherwise you'll be flicking all over the place. Like you'll be like this and you will not kill anyone, you'll die instantly. So focus on one angle, just take the gamble, and when you focus on one angle, it's going to be much easier to get kills. Focus on the angle that is most likely, and to make it much easier for you. Now let's talk about the Lurker. The Lurker is going to be almost the opposite of the Entry Fragger in a way. He's going to most of the time play alone, he has to be passive and patient. And if you are more of a shy person who is not very talkative or something, then Lurker will be a role that is more appropriate for you, because you don't need to talk a lot and you'll kind of be doing your own thing most of the time. And basically, you'll be a little bit more of a solo player in the game. Now that doesn't mean you'll be lurking and being alone every round, but it does mean that sometimes you have to take parts of the map alone. Like let's say here on A main you have to, let's say, throw the lurk utility like this, and then, you know, hold a little bit, go in, try to clear out the positions here. If there is nobody, then you can just hold it. And then in the beginning of the round you'll be holding A main alone, most likely. And if they push you, you have to kill them both alone, and things like this. And on other maps as well, you will be holding some angles, like on Mirage, maybe you play A-Lurk or whatever, so you need to hold the ramp or hold powers, and then if two people push you, you have to deal with it alone. So if you are able to play alone like this, and if you are a very patient player, Lurker is going to be a role that's appropriate for you, because you also don't want to die in this role. If you die in the early round, you give up a side of the map completely, and it's going to be much more difficult for your team after that. And also, as the Lurker, you need to be good in late round situations, so in clutches, and also as clutches you can also consider like 2v2s, 3v3s, that's also in a way a clutch. And also in after plants, it's very important to be good at after plants as the Lurker, because a lot of the time you will be alive from them, and that's where you can have a lot of impact. Now about the AWPer on this side, it's not very complex, it's not too many things that you have to think about, because on this side, most of the time what you will be going for is either you will go for some kind of an opening to try to get a kill, or you will be holding some kind of an angle. Like on Anubis, you will probably be holding this angle a lot of the time, and then just if the enemy is aggressive, they peek, then you're going to get the kill on them. And something to note is that on this side, a lot of the time you'll probably be throwing utility for your teammates. So like let's say you can throw a flash for your teammate on A, and then later on in the round when you are executing, you might have to throw some kind of smoke, some kind of flashes, and other types of utility. So that's something to keep note of, that you will need to support your teammates on this side with utility. And then also when you are going into the side, depending on what angles are open, so if you smoked heaven, then you might need to watch this, or you might need to move to here and then watch camera, or just watch from any kind of an angle, like depending on what is open and what is not. You need to be holding angles for your teammates during executes, during after plans, and basically that's going to be most of your job on this side. Now let's talk about the support. The support role, in my opinion, is a role that is kind of falling out of meta a little bit. You don't see too many teams having support players nowadays, because what the support player would usually do is he's going to be the one who is going to be throwing a lot of the utility. He's going to be throwing utility during like the late rounds when you are going into a site, during the finishers, whatever. He's going to be throwing smokes, flashes, everything. He's going to need to remember a lot of lineups, and he's going to kind of go in last, so whatever action happened, he missed most of the action. So as a support player, you will not be seeing a lot of actions, you will not be getting a lot of highlights, and most likely if the round is going well and if the game is going well, your teammates will be fragging. But if your teammates are fragging, then there is nothing left for you, so you will not be getting a lot of kills and you will not have good stats as a support player. You need to stay back a little bit and kind of help your teammates win the round, not win the round by yourself or something like this. But nowadays it's not as common, because you would see a lot of IGLs and a lot of AWPers throwing the utility, sometimes Lurkers as well. So there isn't a specific support on a lot of teams, because it's not that necessary. Now the last role that I want to talk about is going to be the Star Rifler. Now this is the role that has been kind of replacing the support role, and a lot of teams have kind of a Star Rifler instead of having a support player. So what the Star Rifler is going to do is, he's going to be in a way similar to the Entry Fragger. So he's going to be going for a lot of plays, he's going to be aggressive, he's going to be confident, and he's going to be good individually, very good. So that's going to be most likely, you want to give this role to the best individual player on your team, so the one that has the most skill. and he's going to sometimes go for openings. He can call his own plays, he can take initiative, going for openings on places of the map that he thinks he can get a kill, going for solo plays. And you have to ask the IGL if you want to go for a solo play, but if you're the star player, most IGLs will let you do the things that you want to do. And when there's site execute, when your team is executing a site, you'll most likely be the guy who is going in second, so you have kind of an easy job, but you have to perform very well in that job. You'll be going in second after the Entry Fragger, and if he dies, then you need to trade, and then you might need to also get a follow-up, because a lot of the time there's going to be 2 people on the side, so you would need to kill the first guy and then kill the second guy as well. So it is not too easy, but if you are good individually, you should be able to do it. Especially the trade kill is mostly going to be easy. So again, you have to be good individually, you have to go for things, you have to be the kind of player that takes initiative, just like the Entry Fragger, and you need to also in a way be good in every part of the round. In the early round you have to be able to go for openings, then in the mid round you have to get kills during the executes and things like this, or if you get pushed you need to kill the players, and then in the late round if you are alive for the after plants or in the clutches you need to be good in that as well. You need to be good in every aspect of the game, and you need to obviously have good aim, good crosshair placement and things like this. You can think of basically a player like a Nico. He is probably the best example of a star player that you can think of, a star rifler specifically, and basically the positions that he is playing are mostly the star player positions that you see most often. So that's going to be it for this video. If this video helped you, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to not miss out on any upcoming content. Thank you for watching.